Welcome back in. Two different races in the state of Florida. I'm down in Miami with Buck right now from his studio. Up in the northern part of Florida, Florida 1, the Panhandle, also Daytona and St. Augustine area, Florida 6. Jimmy Patronis joins us now, the next congressman, if you guys keep showing up and voting like you are, in the Florida 1st District. Jimmy, good to talk with you. Appreciate you coming on. What can you tell us about what you're seeing in Florida 1? And if people are listening, both in your district and in the 6th District of Florida, what is the importance of getting out and voting here?
Yeah, so I tell you, it's a beautiful day for getting out to vote. So there's no weather that's going to slow anybody down. It's 77 degrees here in the Panhandle. So grateful for everybody that has showed up and voted early. But today's the last day to let your vote count. And the Republicans have been out tracking the Democrats. So we feel good, but you can't take anything for granted. I tell people all the time, if you don't hold your electeds accountable, you get the government you deserve. And, just really, it's an honor to be on the air with y'all.
Hey, Jimmy, we appreciate you, and we hope you run up the scoreboard in a big way. Who are they
Oh, yeah.
even? Who are they even running against you there? I mean, I know we all feel pretty good about it. Clay consistently refers to the Panhandle as God's country, although he doesn't want more people buying beachfront on the Gulf of America.
There's not any left, Buck.
He says it's getting very crowded. But who are they running against you in God's country, so to speak? What do we need to know about this Democrat that they're throwing into the mix?
Yeah, so the same woman who ran against Matt Gaetz last time in November, her name's Gay Valamont. And look, I'm sure she's a fine person, but her policies are flawed. What she is advocating for, she's trying to run as a moderate. And look, she's got $7 million. And I'm looking forward to tonight at about 7:30, looking into the camera and acknowledging that there's about 7 million reasons why their effort is not the right message for Northwest Florida. The amount of money that we've been outspent probably 5-1, but the Democrats are seeing 6-1 as a way to flip the balance of power in Congress and try to do a referendum on Trump. But the people in these two districts are just too educated.
For people who don't know, what is Florida 1? Where is it located? I just want to make sure because there's lots of people driving around. You know as well as anybody, people get fired up for November elections, but a lot of times these special elections, we've been talking about the two in Florida, the one in Wisconsin that's going today, they can slip under the radar. Where right now in Florida 1 can people go vote for you? Sometimes you know this. People don't even know exactly what congressional district they're in. I'll put myself on blast here. When they redrew the lines in Tennessee, where I live, the difference between one congressman and another came into my neighborhood. One street's represented by one congressman, the other is another one. I didn't know. I didn't know who was my congressman until I actually went in and had the opportunity to vote. So just for people who may not know, where in Florida 1 can people go vote today? Where do they need to show up?
Yeah, so Florida 1 goes from Pensacola and the Alabama state line over between Pensacola and Mobile, and it goes all the way to the edge of Panama City. So it stops at Highway 331. So that's Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and parts of Walton County. You can go to joinjimmy.com. At the top of the page, there's a link. You tap it, and it says, where do I vote? Where's my precinct? And then we will go through and direct you to where you can vote. So it's, again, today's the day that you would actually go to your regular precinct that you would vote on in a November election. And you were spot on. Everything's got seasons to it. And the seasons for elections are in November. People know to vote in November. They don't know to vote in April. And, oh, by the way, it's April Fool's Day.
Yeah, no kidding. And Trump won your district, I think, by 37 or 38 points. So this that sounds good, by the way, people honking in the background. If you're listening to Clay and Buck.
Passed by one of the precincts. So.
That's a good problem. If you're listening to Clay and Buck in Florida 1 right now and you see the congressman driving by, the next congressman, you can honk at him and let us know that you got his back. But this is a dyed, rocked-ribbed Trump district, but it's important for everybody to get out. Don't just rely on the fact. Again, it's April Fool's. A lot of people may not be aware that this is going on.
Yeah, and again, with the amount of money that they've spent running as a moderate, destroying and trying to trash my reputation. I was born and raised in the Central Time Zone. I've been part of this community the whole time. Matter of fact, I think Clay, I think you and I shared the same studio at one time. I used to be on the radio there in Panama City for a while, and I think y'all used to come in and do the show there
Oh,
from time to time.
Jimmy, that's a story I've shared with Buck. When I did early morning sports talk radio in that Panama City
Exactly.
studio, loved the guys there. But I
Yeah.
was on at 5 a.m. there. And sometimes, this won't shock you, there weren't people there to let me in the building. So I have started my show before from the parking lot of that Panama City, Florida studio. It's a great signal. We love all of you down on the Gulf Coast that are listening right now, but it's not far to the Eastern time zone, and so
That's
sometimes
right.
people would get all crossed up as to what time things started. And yeah, my boy DJ K Dub, who was in charge of letting me in back in the day, Buck, was sometimes late. But yeah, Jimmy, that's a fabulous station. I know there's a lot of people listening to us right now as you're driving there on Highway 98, headed I think to
Yeah.
Pensacola.
Yep. And I tell you, it's just radio is so amazing. It's intimate. People they become your family. And that's what I love about what y'all are doing. I mean, you're connecting with folks, and they feel like they know you and know everything about you because they spend so much time and you build their day out. So I mean, it's this is such an amazing way to get news out, to communicate, and to make people informed.
Totally right, Jimmy. And we're talking to Jimmy Patronis. He's running for that important congressional seat, the first in Florida, a beautiful part of the country up in the Panhandle. We got that. We've also got the sixth congressional seat, formerly held by Michael Waltz. It is in the mix with Randy Fine today. Make sure we have a huge Florida audience. Make sure for those of you who live in those districts, you get out and vote. Got to run up the scoreboard high because otherwise you're going to be reading in the New York Times front page tomorrow. Oh, Trump agenda stalling. They went from 30 points to 25 points winning, So got to run up those scoreboards. And to that end, Jimmy, first of all, I totally agree with what you said about radio. Clay and I always joke about how when people know you from the radio show, they just come up and talk to you because they're your friends. There's no like,
Yeah.
oh, there's no trepidation or is it okay or am I
Hell
interrupting?
no.
They come up to me, they're like, how's Ginger? How's Carrie? And I love it. I mean, those are our radio people. And same thing with Clay. They know his wife and his kids' names. But tell me about what you want to get at the top of the agenda, working with fellow members of Congress on the Republican side for the Trump agenda once you are seated.
Sure. So Northwest Florida in the first congressional district has got 5 military installations. So not only is the military economy important in Northwest Florida, there's so many vital missions to our national security, but because of the military presence and how beautiful this place is, we've got the largest per capita retired veterans population anywhere in the nation. So, those VA services are critically important. At the same time, making sure that the missions continue to be enhanced in Northwest Florida. We've got a welcome mat in front of every one of our households here because we love our military. So, I'm looking at hustling to make sure that we continue to support them, especially those that are needing extra assistance and guidance with the DA. You know what? I tell people, Jimmy's not a show horse. Jimmy's a workhorse. I look forward to helping, break through the bureaucracy, helping people get their questions answered. Pete Hegseth's a good buddy. So proud of what he's doing to bring the image of the war fighter back in a way where men and women are proud to serve our country. So this is pinch me. I'm really can't believe it's real.
Jimmy, you've been fighting for the state of Florida for a long time. Buck is one of the new residents of the state of Florida. What is the impact? I mean, I think it's an awesome kind of test case for what
Yeah.
good governance can do. The number of people that are saying, hey, I'm going to move to a state like Florida. What have the numbers looked like over the last 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, so we're in the best fiscal health we've ever been in the history of the state of Florida. And so, look, I've been the CFO for the last 8 years. I'm proud how much debt we've paid down. But here's the twisted thing about it. Even in the jacked up Biden administration where we had double digit inflation, what people don't realize in Florida, the state of Florida made more money than ever before because if things cost more and we're only a sales tax environment, y'all know that because now you're not paying income tax from wherever you once were living. We made more money as a state, so we aggressively paid down debt at a breakneck speed. We have also created a culture. I tell people it's not a sprint, it's a march. You got to work on it every day. We have 400,000 new net Floridians come to the state of Florida, and we've got 1.3 million more registered Republicans and Democrats. The trend we're going is to give people their personal freedom and keep their tax money.
All right. Get out and vote for him, Jimmy Patronis. Jimmy, I'll see you down on the beach here in the near future. I'm going to spend a bunch of time down there this spring and summer. So keep up the good work and look forward to you doing a fantastic job for everybody on the Panhandle.
Thanks, guys. God bless you. Thanks for having me.
For sure. That's Jimmy Patronis. Again, we want to keep that going at Randy Fine, Florida 6, Jimmy Patronis, Florida 1, and get out and vote for Brad Schimmel in the entire state of Wisconsin. 3 different storylines going on right now that will be covered, as Buck mentioned, to a great degree as an early test of the momentum for Trump some 75 days-ish into his second term. If your family carried around a video camera back in the day, chances are you still got the videotape cassettes to prove it. Memory stored on them, valuable when you recorded them, and have only become more valuable as time's gone on. How about digitizing what's on those video cassettes? Legacy Box can do that right now for you at a great price. And digitizing those tapes means moving the content to the cloud. That means you can easily log on from a phone, smart TV, a laptop, or an iPad, and that way you can watch and share those restored family memories on easy-to-use digital files. Because the Legacy Box will make digitizing your memories easy. You ship off your old tapes, film, and photos. Legacy Box takes care of the rest. They'll digitally transfer your family movies by hand, one videotape at a time. Then you'll get them back on the cloud, ready to watch and share from anywhere. And right now, Legacy Box running that special spring cleaning sale. You can digitize your old home movies for just $9 a tape. 65% off regular prices, 90 days of free Legacy Box cloud access. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit legacybox.com/clay to shop that $9 per tape sale. Claim your cloud access. That's legacybox.com/clay.